I mean, you from Georgia?
No, I'm not from Georgia.
Philadelphia?
No, not Philadelphia. You getting close. I'm from North Carolina.
No, Carolina.
A lot of fools around because they fail to realize that dependence on others.
American soldiers hiking their way through the sweaty jungles of South Vietnam, searching for an elusive enemy.
Ask me. I didn't ask y'all. So seriously,
Simply sensational, microphone cremator, MC dominator, innovator. My spit's best about hot as an incinerator. Mics I burn, baby burn, more like a crematorium. I'm a lyrical lyricist, more like Dorian. Death beats combined with enchanting flows of rocket terror dome. Set just thinking cap ablaze, spark your eardrums, have them smoking. With your mentality, mental capacity token. Critics, MCs, I amaze them like grace. With verses wicked as curses or a hex, read me like a text. Left from mesmerized with a puzzle look on their face. I'll even Stephen Hocus Pocus reorganize your whole focus. I've got your dopamines and endorphins energized, compromised, infamized. For sure you realize that I mastermind with my authentic designs. Dominate, regulate, rule this hardcore bewitching field with an iron fist. You can and could search the world over and over and never find an MC pulsating, gripping as me this.
Alcohol.
Yeah, the beverage store.
Do you enjoy it when you drink it?
Yes, I do.
You do.
No, I don't drink too much.
Yeah, as long as you don't drink too much. Well, we worry about you. You know, so many people that worry about you. So many people out here that worry about you. But you're an amazing black man.
That man who talked like he gave the rain to grapple with the fertility of the soil. That man who talked like he provided the dew. He was a fool because he ended up acting like he was the creator. Not next year, not next week, not tomorrow, but this night. My soul is required thee. So it was at the height of his prosperity.
Where you from?
Really, I was really sort of raised up him, but you ever heard of Chi-Town?
Oh yeah. You from Chi-Town?
Canada.
Yeah.
Now really, I was born, I was born in Chicago.
In Chicago. That's wonderful.
But see, my mom, I was 6 years old. This is all
How old are you now?
I'd be 70 years old on July 27th.
Be 70 years old.
But see, all my people on my dad's side, they stayed up in Chicago. My mom was out. Him right down here.
Where you staying at right now?
All due respect, I'm just super sleep downstairs. I'm staying on the street. I ain't this. But I had a place to stay and everything. What happened, I was like, hey, that's around, go in the place and got all the stuff, stole my car and everything. And I paid the rent right there. And I couldn't pay the rent no more. So I was paying the space. You can't pay the rent, you gotta get out.
You gotta go, yeah.
It was that, apartment, apartment, nice, neat, yeah.
The park to give all the people who lived right here in these homes rent control for the rest of their lives. They agreed. Rent control. So they can never increase their rent. Ever.
Ah, ok. Donc en fait, il est là.
So there are still 3 people that live here from the early 1980s whose rent has never gone up.
Look, I saw him again, though. Unless he know I got a gun or something. But he had to pop a gun unless he know popping a gun. Yeah, you popping a gun. that motherfucker don't play with that.
So it's a new day. How you feeling today, brother?
Living there,
Where we at right now?
not really good place where I was born, and I just didn't go.
So we were talking about yesterday the effects of alcohol consumption.
But this brand new day I got off with alcohol.
What would you like to talk about?
Anything that becomes history, make history.
No matter what anybody tells you, you're still beautiful.
That man talked like he gave the rain to grapple with the fertility of the soil. That man talked like he provided the dew.
You know, being a medical professional around this area, especially when dealing with some of the calls, I work on an ambulance. For privacy, I'll just keep the name, but for privacy, I've been in EMS for about almost 10 years. And moving here to the Atlanta area, I serve the Atlanta area. I know some of our calls were alcoholic calls, and then even when driving around in my ambulance, we see the effects of alcoholism in our streets, especially around this predominantly known area of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He made strides to just make sure we as African Americans have a better life, but we see the effects of it in alcoholism. Now, it's touchy because we have to remember that most people turn to the alcohol for various reasons, and breaking those addictions might be the challenge. But I believe that we can get some more resources out in that area to help get our brothers and sisters from cured or start to not be attached to the disease of alcoholism. I think our community will be better, our businesses will come back, and we can probably employ more people instead of having seen our brothers and sisters on the streets.
You got a new mayor, and his name is Andre Dickens. If you had a message to Andre Dickens about the alcohol sales that are in the perimeter of Martin Luther King Jr.'s house, because we're right across the street from Martin Luther King Jr.'s birth home, would you have a message for Andre Dickens?
Yeah, I would say, well, I see it just like that. You don't mind drinking alcohol and how you want to drink. That's all respect. Sometimes you don't be all on everything you're doing. That's not it. You don't just sit right across the street like that, man.
To accumulate, in short, the physical stuff that's necessary for us to be ready.
you see the different cultures and nationalities. Even these brothers sit next to me. You know, we're a touring choir, and it's kind of hard. Like I was saying before, like the whole term being black in America or being black in Georgia can be challenging at sometimes because of the things that are stacked up against us. And like even with myself, you know, I don't run the streets, I don't drink, I don't smoke, because I know where that leads. There's only two things you're gonna be if you run the streets, either in jail or dead. And I want to live. I don't have no time to waste my energy on things that won't bring me nothing. Because like I said, I've seen the results of being in the street, and that tells me that what the streets has to offer you is not really working for the life that you really want. Sure, those fast money, everything, you know, comes quick, but I just feel that as quick as you can get it, it can be lost. And like I was sharing you my interaction with, it's my wife. Hold on one second. Like I was saying, I try to live in my interaction with the, you know, police force as much as I can. I do understand that there are good and bad and ugly police officers, just like with anything. But I try to limit my interaction with them as best I can because I just don't want those type of problems. Not that I'm scared, not that I'm, you know, weak or anything like that, but in essence, I'm just really practicing wisdom. Because at the end of the day, you know, I was talking to my wife, and we realized, like, just watching the climate and really understanding, like, if we comply, you know, there's not us complying, our chances of going home are still low, because there's always going to be that underlying fear of why are you in my presence, Mr. Officer, Mrs. Officer. And I was sharing with you, you know, my story of interactions. You know, I've only had 2 run-ins with officers in the personal environment. First instance, I was driving on the highway, and I was switching in a lane, and a cop car speed past me and almost hit me. So as he passed me, we connect eyes, and he went on about his business, I went on about my business. But ironically, we were getting off at the same exit. I was behind him, and next thing you know, he went to the lane and got behind me, and we started going turn for turn. And that's when my radar went off. Like, oh gosh, all right, I just got so nervous. And I'm like, what do you want? Like, so I'm driving because I was serving papers, serving process. So I'm looking for this apartment, and I'm kind of slowing down, and he's, again, pacing me. So once I get out the car, he speeds off. And next thing you know, like, if you know anything about the New York City streets, you can hear her from the other block if you're in front of somebody's house. So on the next block, I heard him speed back around to my car. He comes all the way around the block, and then he asks me for my ID. So at that time, I'm like, why? Why do you need my ID? What's it for? What do you need it for? And he said, do you have any business here? I said, I do. And I showed him the reason why I was here. But that wasn't enough. At this point, I don't know if he had something to prove. I don't know if he didn't like me giving him my ID. But he was just adamant about still being in my area. So I said, I'm not even pulled over. So he goes back to his car and turns on his lights, and then he asks me again for my ID. And again, I said no. So he gets back in his car, and I see him use his cell phone. And a few moments later, another officer arrives. He never used his radio, so I just knew that wasn't like proper protocol. Again, I'm not an officer, but I can only assume if you need backup, you'll use your radio. You know, I get it from the movies. But he never used his radio. So next, you know, a second officer came in. It was like a 2 against 1. And the second officer basically said, I'm not here to help you. I'm here to get you to do what he's telling you to do. So long story short, he says, oh, my tags are expired. My insurance. I said, well, I paid it already. I just paid it. And that wasn't enough. So they wound up calling a tow truck, taking my plates off my car, searching my vehicle. I didn't give them permission, but they searched my vehicle. I didn't have anything to hide, so I didn't have a problem with that. And the next thing you know, I was left out in the rain. very upset. You know, that was a traumatic experience for me, and I just never really could get over having any interaction with police officers. I just don't want anything to do with interacting with police officers in my own personal. And of course, when I'm on the job, I have to interact with them, and that's fine. But when I'm in my personal space, I want to go home. That's why I don't put myself in any position to have any interaction with law enforcement, because, you know, I was watching this documentary and they mentioned, like, once you call 911, you put the situation into their hands, and the chances of it turning violent may increase.